Alright, we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your favorite wrestling fan here, Raquel Rodriguez, every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time, here to talk about the greatest thing in the world, professional wrestling, all the action inside and outside of the ring, backstage, curtain calls, news, drama. We talk about all the inactive statuses, injury updates. We talk about contract negotiations, extensions, and new signings from WWE to AEW to TNA to Ring of Honor to New Japan Professional Wrestling to CMLL to the NWA to the GCW for makes major news in the world of professional wrestling. We talk about it here on this show 1010%. So make sure you guys like, follow, subscribe to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast so you guys can get a nice little notification whenever we decide to go live so you guys can share your opinions about professional wrestling. Alright, just going to reflect on what we talked about real quick. We had our WWE SmackDown review. We had our WWE Monday Night Raw talk. We also talked about Survivor Series, WWE WarGames, the winners and the losers. And now we're going to talk about WarGames. There was a couple of injuries. So yeah, can't wait to get on into that. Alright, so obviously if you guys, paid attention on WWE WarGames on Saturday, there was a couple of injuries. There was a couple of big... there was a couple of spots where, you thought people were injured, obviously kind of digging on into it. We had, Jakob Fatu. First and foremost, the WarGames match, a hellacious match. Absolutely, it's going to tear your body apart. So it wouldn't surprise me if there was a couple of, not bad examples. It's not a good example. A couple of examples where, you can kind of see the human body is not meant to kind of be, dude. That's the reason why professional wrestlers, I feel like, don't really get the respect they ultimately deserve. It's because the kind of wear and tear they put their bodies through. So, it's kind of crazy. It's not easy. Jakob Fatu in the Bloodline Civil War match. Jakob Fatu attempted a moonsault, but it looked like his knee gave out, and it was a bad spot. It was crazy. I personally thought it was real. And it was. Jacob, kind of admitted that, both first and foremost, Fightful Select reported that Fatu was not injured at all. After the awkward landing, Jacob made the decision to heavily sell that leg. And, knowing that he was going to lose the match, it makes sense. Like, there was a couple of times where he was, like, going after Jimmy or Jey Uso, and he just didn't really, where he was hobbling around, and I was like, okay, this is a great way. Because if Jakob Fatu was at his 110%, I feel like that match would have gone a little differently. Obviously, predetermined, it happens. It's professional wrestling. It's all good. It's all kayfabe, baby. But, he did a good job for selling it. I personally thought I was like, great, because he's injured his foot before. He was off of WWE for a little bit. I would say for like 2 or 3 weeks, I think it was. Then he came back. He was wearing like a walking boot. And, now you kind of have it. And like, ultimately feel like it's because Jakob Fatu inside that WWE ring, he goes absolutely nuts. He gives it all. He throws caution to the wind. He gives it all he got. He doesn't care. He goes out there. He's like a little kid you take to the park where they're jumping for monkey bars and stuff like that. Because in their eyes, they're just like, hey, I'm just trying to make the best of the situation and have fun. Believe me, I'm a dad. My kids do it all the time. I'm like, guys, like calm down. Like, it's not like you're ever going to come outside or come over here and play again. Like, you know what I mean? But no, Jakob Fatu, he throws caution to the wind. He gives everything he has to WWE, and that's maybe a huge reason why they signed him. Maybe that's the reason why they probably should have signed him earlier. But he's definitely a promising superstar. He's badass. He's literally one of the best superstars I've ever seen. Kind of coming out of the independent wrestling circuit, I definitely love that 1010%. This is great news. Great news for the Bloodline storyline. I ultimately kind of thought, that this was going to be kind of detrimental without Jakob Fatu being there. There's Samoa Werewolf. No one really is going to be there to protect Solo Sikoa. But sorry, excuse me. Now they do with Jakob Fatu being A-OK. So I definitely like that. I think that's cool. 1010%. And Jimmy Uso breaks his toes. Damn, he breaks his toes. Jimmy Uso suffered a toe injury. Even Jey Uso said after the match, he said, and I quote, "Yeah, my brother broke his toe on this big splash tonight." He told CM Punk. And, it was a good spot. It was a good spot. But whenever you kind of go up there, and you've seen it happen. Obviously, we're going to talk about Bronson Reed in a second. But, when you kind of go up there and you kind of seems like you're not really used to doing high-end moves like that. Like, you've seen it. You saw it at AEW with Adam Copeland where he came down and tried to get Malachi Black. And it was just a terrible, 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 terrible landing, and they ended up injuring themselves. Like, Edge got it bad. Well, Adam Copeland, technically. He got it way worse than, Jimmy Uso. But it was a good spot. It was a damn good spot. It was a nice way to take out Jakob Fatu, who was also got, kayfabed injured. But, this is for real. How long Jimmy Uso is going to stay off WWE TV? Not long. He's probably going to... I don't even see him wearing a boot. I don't really see him wearing bandages or anything like that. He's probably just going to be... he's going to be backstage. He's going to be, on the apron, definitely backing up his brother, definitely backing up Roman Reigns. Where did this bloodline storyline kind of go from here? Only time will tell. What's going to be the next move in this Bloodline Civil War. And now we're kind of building up momentum towards Saturday night's main event. Maybe a match. I don't know if Roman Reigns will find himself in a match. It'd be nice for him to finally challenge Solo Sikoa in, tribal combat, trying to get that Unafala. I feel like that could definitely be a huge marksmanship for Saturday night's main event. That'd be a great main event. That'd be pretty awesome. And because even after the match ended, Michael Cole, or I think it was Corey Graves, one of them said, like, he's Roman Reigns, he's still not the tribal chief. He might have won this battle, but he has not won the war. So a lot of things still lingering. The storyline's still simmering. It's going to, develop. It's going to be definitely poetic. This storyline that the Bloodline Civil War going through right now, I got to be honest, it's got to be the best storyline I've seen as a wrestling fan my whole entire life. Like, and I've watched I've watched wrestling since I was like 6 years old. So, 26 years, guys, of experience. So, kind of crazy to see Jimmy Uso go down, but it is what it is. It is what it is. All right, now we got Big Bad Bronson Reed. According to a report from Corey Brennan of Fightful Select, Bronson Reed has suffered an ankle injury. Reed tsunami from the top of the cage. It's been told that he's injured one or even maybe both of his ankles. Ouch. On the landing. WWE CCO and head of creative Triple H confirmed Bronson Reed is questionable and will undergo scans on Monday. Reed addressed his injury on social media, saying, and I quote, "Injuries are temporary, moments are forever." I like the spot. But with all the momentum that Bronson Reed kind of had, will this hold it? I don't think it will. I don't think it will. You didn't really have Seth Rollins in a match, so that never really kind of preluded to their feud against each other on, heading toward Monday Night Raw. So if anything, if Bronson Reed has a state of mind where he can like take a leave of absence and it's absolutely appropriate, this is probably the best time to do so. Like, this guy could probably literally be a month off of television and come back and just do exactly what he does. Come out and hit tsunamis. Come out and kind of F shit up backstage. Sorry, F stuff up backstage. I blanked out one of the curse words, not both. Sorry. You could have him come back and kind of just do what he, kind of reign supreme, kind of, have ruckus all over WWE and kind of just be that same character. So for this, I feel like if Bronson Reed is literally, injured, both ankle injuries, that could be, it could, something as bad as like a sprain to a fracture. This could be like literally week to week to months. 3 or 4 months. And, Bronson Reed has been a young, rising star in WWE. And, he has not been confirmed for Monday Night Raw. He's not going to be on Monday Night Raw. So, we're going to find out what CM Punk has to say. Obviously, at the beginning of the WarGames match, you saw him push Bronson Reed's face. I kind of thought that was a foretelling for the future of CM Punk and Bronson Reed. But now with Bronson Reed injured, this could kind of ultimately alter the storylines, the script a little bit. But I don't know. It should be pretty great. Should be pretty great. Will he be written off of WWE? See, that's something that I thought of as well. Will Bronson Reed will he be targeted or attacked by like Seth Rollins? Maybe Seth Rollins maybe he takes him out like Reed took him out, like with like a steel chair or something like that, or maybe that's going to be a great way to kind of ride him off TV. Reed vowed to insert himself in the main event scene, and he's done exactly that. He's been working backstage with quote-unquote Triple H and Paul Heyman in character development, also working toward a better future in WWE. Bronson Reed has been absolutely phenomenal in WWE because he's absolutely comfortable in any match type, in any scenario, going up against any opponent. Obviously, we've seen him on WWE Speed with great matches with Ricochet. And, that's just something that is really cool about Bronson Reed. That's something that I've definitely noticed. Bronson Reed's not your average, ordinary, kind of big, although he's, this big strapping guy, this doesn't necessarily mean he's going to win every match like a squash match. He has a great way to kind of elevate the talent around him. Like someone like Ricochet, who was smaller than him. He's able to fight matches with Braun Strowman where he's more athletic than Braun Strowman, but in this case, in this match, in this scenario, he's gonna kind of go like, oh, this is power. This is all about power. So I'm gonna kind of demonstrate my power a little bit. So then he's able to do that. So Bronson Reed, obviously a very gifted wrestler. WWE's definitely lucky to have him. I can't wait to see what happens when he comes back. I want to see this guy kind of take over WWE. He's a future WWE champion. He's young. I think he's only like 26 years old. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But got some high hopes for some Bronson Reed. So I can't wait to find out, what WWE has in store for him when he comes back. All right, guys. So, hey, do not go anywhere. We talk about our WWE. Oh, also, WarGames injury. Sorry, not trying to skip over this. Raquel Rodriguez got a pretty nasty cut. She posted herself on social media as well, getting stitches on her left elbow. So, obviously, gotta throw some attention there too. All right, Shinsuke Nakamura defeats the LA Knight to win the WWE United States Championship. Obviously, it's for a reason. We're going to get into that reason when we come back. So grab your favorite snack, grab your favorite ice cold beverage, and join me here in about 25 seconds. So hey, do not go anywhere.